With a new patch brings a new meta. In today's video, we're diving into the 5 best compositions to climb the ranks in TFT's latest patch, 13.9, including a trait that's hardly saw any play this entire set. If you have a composition that you think should have made the cut, share it in the comments below. Let's get started. So first up is Ionia Vanquishers, featuring Xayah as your primary carry and Neela as your secondary carry. In the most recent patch, Vanquishers received not one, but 2 significant buffs. A 20% increase in crit rate at the 6 unit threshold, and a 5% increase in crit damage at every stage. These buffs made this comp straight into the meta, making it an excellent choice for climbing the ladder. To optimize this comp, aim for both the Ionia and Vanquisher emblems. To help you get these emblems, I recommend selecting the Earth Legend. Additionally, watch out for the Placidium Library region portal, as it grants you an emblem at stage 3-5, further boosting your comp strength. If you have to choose between the 2 emblems, go for the Ionia emblem first, but don't worry, if you are unable to get any emblems, a composition of 6 Ionia and 4 Vanquishers is still strong. This is a 4-cost carry comp, so maintain a strong economy until you hit level 7, at around stage 4-1. At this point you have 2 options. You can roll down to stabilize your board by looking for Xayah, Neela and Shen, or if your health pool is comfortable, skip the rolling, go straight for level 8 to increase your chances of hitting those key 4-cost units. In the early game, aim for an Ionia start. Jhin should hold your damage items until Xayah comes into play, while Irelia holds your defensive items until you find Shen. As you level up to 7, keep an eye out for complementary units like Neferi, who activates the Challenger trait with Irelia, and Darius, who activates Juggernaut with Set. Next on the list is the Gunner Aphelios composition, which didn't receive many buffs this patch, save for a few enhancements to Gangplank, boosting his attack speed and mana generation. Despite the lack of direct buffs, this comp remains incredibly potent, especially when Gangplank is incorporated. Ideally, you want the Gunner emblem to unlock the full power of 6 Gunners. If that's not possible, the next best option is to stick at level 7 to try 3-star Jace and Echo instead of rushing to level 8 to slot in Gangplank. Similar to the previous composition, your main carry and frontline defense are 4 costs, which means you're going to want to keep your economy as strong as possible to get to level 7 and hit your key units. For the early game, you can be quite flexible, but the best start is to play around early bruisers such as Vi and Renekton, along with the 2 early gunners, Graves and Jinx, with Renekton being your defensive item holder and Jinx being your offensive item holder. As you level up to 7, you should try to slot in Echo and Jace, as this will activate 3 traits being Rogue, Zorn and Piltover. Moving on to my new favourite composition, which is Reroll Rogues. Although Rogues received a nerf in this patch, reducing their stealth threshold from 50 to 35%, this version uses the newly buffed Ixtal trait that I not only never used up until now, but I also never saw anyone else use it. With this reroll composition, you can either slow roll at level 6 or 7, and your primary goal is to 3-star Qiyana and Echo, so ensure you place these 2 on the elemental hexes that Ixtal provides. You may be able to 3-star your other 3-cost units while searching for Echo or Qiyana, but don't let that distract you, as the composition really only shines when your main 2 carries come online. Items are also really key to this composition, which is why I suggest taking Twisted Fate as your legend and picking up Pandora's Bench to ensure you get the components you need. For the early game, you should look to pick up any Rogue or Ixtal units that you can find. There isn't a great item holder for this composition, so finding your core units as early as possible will determine how smooth the game goes. As you level up, you should look to put in more Rogues and Ixtal units. If you're deciding to roll at level 7 rather than 6, you should at least roll down slightly at level 6 to 2-star some units before doing that, else you may end up taking too much damage to recover and hit your 3-star units. This next composition is in my opinion the most boring of the set, but it's also one of the most consistent if you can get the emblem, and that is Void. Void always seems to stand the test of time post patches, as it performs well but never too well in order to receive a nerf. I won't spend too much time on this as it's been around for the entire set, but the key concept for this composition is to get the Void emblem and to get to level 8 so that you can find and place in Belveth to hit 8 Void. That is easier said than done due to the fact that Void's mid game isn't very strong compared to most of the meta compositions currently out there. If you're able to get an early Void emblem or find an early Kai'Sa and have 6 Void activated at level 6, this should be enough to breeze your way through to level 8 and activate 8 Void. If you're not able to do this, then your best bet is to roll down at level 7 and hit Kaiser 1 and Vel'Koz 2 to stabilise your board before going to level 8 to look for Bel'Veth. Similar to Void, this composition has existed since the beginning of the set and seems to stand the test of time as well. The difference with Noxus Reroll is that there have been so many different variations of it that it never seems to get stale. This version looks to 3-star as many of your 1 and 2 cost units as possible to make up for the strength difference you will find in the later stages of the game. Your main carry for this is Samira, and you want to keep as much gold as possible by not leveling up and slow rolling your gold at level 5 to 3-star Samira and any of your other units such as Cassiopeia, Swain and Neferi. If you manage to 3-star Samira first, you should level up to 6 before slow rolling again to 3-star your 2 cost units. For the early game, you of course want to get a Noxus opener, as you want to get as many early wins as possible to get the 5% damage bonus for each player you defeat. You should save up all of your gold, and then just after the first Krug round, you'll be 2 XP away from hitting level 5, and then you should roll down to 30 gold and look for Samira and Cassiopeia, as this is when you have the greatest odds of hitting them. You should then build your economy back up to 50 and slow roll to 3-star them if you haven't already. And that does it for this video. If you made it this far and found this helpful, please consider liking and subscribing for more TFT content.